Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds.
Happy to be here with my brothers on blog, ready to get to it, and I'm so excited about this show. You pay yourself a professional athlete, and you get paid to catch the ball and can't. Like, that just makes no sense to me.
Biggest takeaway is that if you are a West Coast team, take your behind to the East Coast 2 days beforehand so you can at least get 1 day acclimated to the time difference.
The effort they put up against the Warriors, lethargic, pitiful. We won't give too many more words to it, so we're going to move on.
And here we go.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, the Big Game Christian Sports Network proudly presents Donnie Epting, Dwayne Sutton, and Willie Epting. And they are in the zone.
Up that music, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but it takes me back to a time where, well, life was a lot simpler back then. And, you know, standing here in 2026, I know we all been through a lot. We're all going through a lot. But thanks be to God that we are here. Dwayne, what's up, man?
OG triple. What's happening, man?
I can't call it. Donnie, what's happening, brother?
Oh, what's good, everybody? Things are all right over here.
Well, that's just wonderful. Second segment of the Shake Back Sports Show upcoming here in just a second. Just in case you missed it in the first segment, well, we did talk about what in the wild world of Bill Belichick. We're going to pick up on that here in just a second. Thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram TV, and of course, Twitter. I'm so very excited because these boys right here have a major hand in where we are right now. This second segment, it is being brought to you by us. Who is us? We is us. Who is we? Well, I'm glad you asked. The Big Game Christian Sports Network, and we thank you for tuning in to the hottest future forward online sports network in the collective galaxy, the BGC Sports Network. That's hashtag BGCSN1 and hashtag BGCSN2. Stream us while you work, cook, or clean, and check us out at bgcsports.net and check out upcoming schedules and events. All right, so let's get back to the wide world of Bill Belichick. Thank you guys out there for checking in. Make sure you drop your comments. We will shout you out on the air. And these guys, I'm hoping they bring a little bit more energy here in the second segment regarding this travesty that has taken place with the NFL Hall of Fame. So we're going to go right there again. Donnie, you were saying something at the end of the second segment. I obviously don't remember what it is, but I'm hoping that you do. I'm hoping that you do. No, it's fine.
No, basically what I was saying was, hey, we talked about the number of wins that the Patriots had from 2003 to 2019 under the tutelage. Shout out to little bro Brian Epting, the tutelage of one Bill Belichick. At least 10 wins a year, every year from 03 to 19. One of those seasons was when Tom Brady tore his ACL in week 1. He got hit on the knee by one of the defenders, I believe, from the Houston Texans, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
and was out that whole year. The team had to go forth with Matt Castle as their quarterback, and the Patriots still won double-digit games. Now, I know that the masses are going to bring up, well, they cheated. They spied on everybody. The quarterback requested for the footballs to be deflated. This, that, and the third. Jimmy Johnson said it eloquently. Back then, they didn't want me. No, he didn't say that. Sorry. He said back then, we all were doing it. Everybody was cheating, stealing signals and whatnot. The Patriots just happened to be the ones to be caught, and so they had to be the example, right? Look, man, for all that Bill Belichick has given to the game, yeah, the media may not have liked him. He's a football coach, man. He's not standing up there at the podium to make friends. He coaches football. Got time for no friends. Well, he got time for friends now. We're not gonna get into that. Lord have mercy.
20
But man,
She's a young thing, ain't she? He's
20
tender.
20
young
rolling,
tenderoni.
rolling 20s. Tenderoni.
The truth about Aroni, she's a sweet little girl. The great philosopher Bobby Brown said that. But look, next year, let's make it right. Vote him in. He deserves it. It's hard to win in the NFL. It's hard. He's the second highest or second most winningest coach in the sport behind Don Shula, playoffs and regular season combined. Or he has the second most wins. I said most winningest, Lord.
It's all good.
But that's just where I'm at with this. I'm flabbergasted. Let the man in. I mean, Dwayne, you brought up something that I've seen throughout the week too. Where was the explanation from the Hall of Fame when T.O. didn't get in first ballot? There are some people I think could be first ballot snubs. And I'm talking this season, and I'm talking quarterbacks that played for the New Orleans Saints. I can see him being a first year snub. I don't know what these voters be thinking. I'm not saying I agree with it. But if Drew Brees does not make the Hall of Fame on his first ballot, it would not surprise me one bit.
I was about to ask you, what does Aaron Brooks have to do with this? But I see where you're going now.
The only Hall of Fame he made was throwing a backwards pass in San Diego.
And he the Hall of Fame for being Michael Vick's cousin.
And yeah. What you boy say on the head of state? I'm Sharon Stone's cousin.
I'm a war hero, and I'm Sharon Stone's cousin.
Yeah. Anyway,
so let's go there, Dwayne, because that was actually the next item up for bids here on The Price is Right. That's known as the ITZ SS plus the SBMG plus the IMWO plus BGC Sports Network. Let's go there about these snubs. Obviously, in any sport, he would have to be the biggest snub of all time. And I want us to talk about some other snubs that are not nearly as notable as this, but are notable enough in their own right. And for me, I'm going to baseball because I don't care what they say about that era. Everybody benefited from it, to include Major League Baseball, who knew it was going on and allowed it, to the point to where they are saying having pitchers over there. They're talking about pitchers, chicks digging a long ball. I mean, so Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Alex Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, you guys should all be in. That's my 4 snubs wrapped into one. What say you, Dwayne?
I actually was gonna go that route, dog. The biggest one will always be the home run king. I'm sorry, I don't care what you say. Not only that, you have to say it right though, dog. They saved the sport of baseball. Because honestly, it had gotten to a point where it was getting pretty stale. What they were coming off of, was that a strike?
Yeah, the strike in '94, and the season in '95.
It left a bad taste in the fans' mouth. I mean, folks had started moving on. We need something. Michael Jordan done came back now. It's hey, help us, help. We're no longer the king. Football started becoming, big time, big dollar players. And it's like, all right, man, what we gonna do here? Because of those guys, people were tuning in. SportsCenter was being led off, counting off home runs. It was a chase, a real chase. Sammy Sosa, the dark-skinned one.
I got a light-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson. Got a dark-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson.
Oh my God!
Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, them 3 kings saved baseball, dog. And I can't forget the natural king, Ken Griffey Jr., because for a minute he was right there with him. For a minute.
Until his injuries took a toll on him.
Yeah, so the injuries just kind of took over. And then some people will say, well, that's the difference right there. I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. For that alone, I didn't. I just was enjoying the chase, and it's a shame. It's a doggone shame. You want to be able to tell the story of this sport, and you're gonna leave their names out.
Yeah, and that's something, Donnie, that they were talking about on one of the shows. I think it was maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I'm gonna ask you this:
Mhm.
can you really write any sort of history of the NFL, of college football, of high school football, of Pop Warner, of whatever? Can you write the history of football without Bill Belichick being a first time or a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, next question.
Let's go into detail though, for real. Like Bill Parcells, his resume alone wasn't he in Cleveland?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to tell the story.
Belichick was in Cleveland.
He was in
Parcells,
Cleveland, the original Dog Pound, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I could tell the story of the original Dog Pound and how they moved to Baltimore, but I could tell it because he was there. And if I'm not mistaken, he was a Giants coach who was in charge of wasn't he there with LT? You mean he was coaching one of the greatest, in my eyes, the greatest NFL player ever. Might have been coked out, which is another thing. He in the Hall of Fame. But him, when we talk about Lawrence Taylor, you have to tell who was his coach. Who were the people coaching the team? Bill Belichick is all over the blueprint of NFL football. You cannot tell this story without that man. Same thing with Terrell Owens. Isn't he the number 2 statistical receiver in NFL history?
Yeah, him and Chris Carter are both up there, and we know what happened to Chris Carter. It took him 6 different tries to get in, which I thought was ridiculous.
But even so, what's the worst thing? What's the worst thing off field T.O. ever did?
Next question.
He did push-ups, them sit-ups in his driveway.
Yeah, the sit-ups in his driveway.
And
that's
he not
and out to his quarterback, in front of everybody, where they say, hey, what goes on in the locker room or what goes on in the huddle stays in the huddle. T.O. didn't care about that. He told everybody.
Well, I think at that point he knew he was on his way out, and he was just going to just drag everybody down with him at that point. Because once he left Philly, where did he end up going? To Buffalo?
Buffalo.
Yeah. So he T.O. said, I'm taking everybody with me. I don't know, man.
The band was playing as the ship went down.
Exactly. That you couldn't have put it any better than that. But my thing is this, man. What kind of message is the Hall of Fame sending? I mean, and I'm not talking about just NFL fans. I'm not talking about just football fans. I'm not even talking about just sports fans. I'm talking about people that are in their own particular industry, and you strive to become the best. Now, you don't get to become the best or the most revered or the winningest or whatever you want to call it, most accomplished. You don't get to any of those spots without taking a shortcut or two here and there. It just doesn't happen. We can talk about our political landscape if you want to do that, but I don't have enough time, nor do I have the energy to go there. I just think it's a bad sign that they would do this, and for whatever the reason may be, it just doesn't make any on the field sense. So now, Donnie, you're in charge of the new process to get people into the Hall of Fame. What are you changing? As a matter of fact, let's say it this way. What are you changing specifically for coaches?
Well, I would say the number of coaches and or contributors, we're not just going to relegate it to a coach, a contributor.
Okay.
Whoever's on the ballot that year and gets the most votes and is most deserving, they're in. I mean, I want to go back real quick. Eric Coryell, Eric Coryell, famed head coach of the Chargers, Dan Fouts, that supercharger offense that just set the world on fire back in the late 70s, early to mid 80s. Eric Coryell was posthumously placed in the Hall of Fame after his death and as a contributor. A lot of what we see nowadays with the ball going from, from the line of scrimmage to 40, 50 yards downfield, Eric Coryell brought that into the game, revolutionized football. How in the world was he not in the Hall of Fame until, well, I think it's been maybe within the last 6 to 10 years. I may be off on that.
Mm-hmm.
Those, I don't know if maybe you have a separate voting group. Maybe include some NFL veterans that have retired and moved on to other walks of life. But we got to find a way to put the most deserving people in, whether that's coaches, contributors, whatever the case might be, so that we don't continue to have these travesties in terms of deserving coaches. And like I said, earlier, he's gonna get in. We don't have to worry about that. But the mere fact that he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame is just it doesn't make any sense to me.
So Dwayne, you're in charge. How would you fix this?
Let's split this thing up. Plain and simple. The accomplishments of players is different from the accomplishments of coaches and differs from the accomplishments of the front office. The same way that they have separate awards and separate categories, I'm gonna make separate possibilities or entries for this. We're gonna have so many players. You feel me? Not make just one set amount of people. No, we're gonna have so many players, so many coaches, so many front office people. But I'm not gonna allow people to get left out because we only gonna make time for just this one bundle of group of people. Like stupid. Don't do it. It makes absolutely no sense for people to put their body on the lines 10, 15 years, 20 years, even if you know it, the way they're going now. But for a league that wants you to wait until you die 30, 40 years after you're done playing before you can finally get in. Sick of seeing that. I'm sick of watching those and then going, he should have been here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He should have been here. He should have been here to get his roses, his flowers. Like he deserved that moment. You put in. That's almost like, that's the same thing as working your entire life, and then the day you retire, where you're supposed to be enjoying it, you die.
Right.
You never got to enjoy the fruits of your labor. No.
Or they tell your 401k was taken from you because we didn't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like come on, man. Also, they need to change the voting process. That who's in charge of voting should matter. That part of I'm sick of the popularity contest.
Yeah, and just to round it off before we end the segment and mute our stuff, I agree to a degree with both of you guys, and I want to explain a little bit further on the other side of the break before we actually get to reviewing or a recap of the championship games. We're not going to talk Super Bowl and predictions in this show. That's going to be reserved for the next episode. But what I'm saying is that there's definitely something wrong in Denmark with all of this, and in order for them to admit that they're wrong is the only way that they're going to change the process. All right, come on back here inside the break. We're going to get to a little bit more of this. We're going to talk a little bit, about Matthew Stafford's legacy too. So we're going to mute our mics and cams. Donnie, Dwayne, Willie, y'all coming back and holler at us.
Salutations, a comet smash through a station. The blast cause hazardous gas and mass radiation. The public panic due to lack of information that made a killer situation, feeling in the civilization. Still you see in the basement takes a scientific nation to fail. Blind communities, they read it in braille. Politicians with the skin and scales, pigtails, sending soldiers and ship and sailors, sunken city divers and trails. Down below, search for survivors, there's no people for several miles. Desert towns surround ground zero. Reach down.
Yo, I don't know. I keep saying every time I hear that beat, man, I don't know who that cat is, but all I can tell you is that he's spitting. And YouTube, you cannot flag me for that because I got that from your studio. So don't flag me for that song. Doggone it. Shakeback Sports Show, third and final segment. Dwayne, Donnie, Willie, ITZSS, hashtag Brothers of Blogs, back in the building. Look, they say if it happens once, it's luck. If it happens twice, it's evidence. If it happens 3 times, you are now in a trend. And this is the 3rd straight week that we have been able to get back together. So we are trending for something. I don't know what it is. Dwayne, what do you say?
You trending in the right direction. That's what it is.
Donnie, what do you say?
I can't. You can't send me up after that, man. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing.
I can understand that.
Just grateful. Just grateful. I am grateful. I would say that.
All right, I can certainly understand that. So I tell you, you may not have that, but I tell you what we do have. What we do have is the fact that we would love to get your feedback. And who is we? We are the Big Game Christian Sports Network, and we would love to get that feedback on our network because it would help us to improve and present to you, the listener, with the best possible programming for your listening enjoyment. Just leave your first initial and last name as well as your feedback at comments@bgcsports.net. Again, that is comments@bgcsports.net. And thank you for making us better and your first choice for sports talk that's lit 24/7. That is the BGC Sports Network. All right, so I did see another comment somewhere. Thomas Long, Dwayne, I know that's one of your big homies. Bill came up.
Man, yeah, yo, definitely.
Bill came up with the defense to shut down the old school 49ers. And he shut down the greatest show on turf. Facts.
Too long. Hey.
Hey, but you still gotta understand the range, though.
It's been 30-something years, and Leonard Marshall, I still wanna have a conversation with you. Messing up my 3
You see the range there?
That's his point, though. I think that's his point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's his point.
The greatest show on turf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then what he did to Sean McVay in that Super Bowl when they beat the Rams. That high flying offense. And you mean to tell me this dude? I don't know who this person is, and I don't know what they mean when they just say,
I know exactly who that is.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll leave that to you and your thoughts.
That's my little bro. That's my little bro Ross, man.
As we continue forth in this episode. All right. So I wanted to say this real quick about the Hall of Fame balloting. If I was in charge, number one, writers, only a select number of writers, and you have to reach a certain, you have to have a certain criteria, can be a part of the equation. But I believe that there's no better way to vote somebody in the Hall of Fame is by having the Hall of Fame people vote themselves. Those ones that obviously are still alive and can still have the mental capacity to be able to cast a vote, I think it should be wrapped around that. And then for the coaches, how about having the owners? Well, no, because that wouldn't work because of Robert Kraft. But Robert Kraft, it's civil war, right? It's a house divided, because if he urged folks to not vote, not only does that say something about Robert Kraft, but it says to me more about the people that's following his instructions on that, because that's just completely wrong. You're following the wrong thing. So that's how I think I would look at it. All right, championship review or preview. I'm sorry, recap. The Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I mean, Brady got to wait too, right?
See, I didn't want to open up that can, bro.
I'm just saying.
I didn't want to open up that can. Now that you've opened up the can and it's a carbonated soda and it's starting to fizz everywhere.
I didn't open that up. He did.
No, but you said it on the show.
I said it because that's the precedent that's now being set.
I know, but I didn't want to go there. That's the whole point, because that's going to be the rest of the show. Okay, let's do it real quick. Donnie, Does this set Tom Brady back at least 1 year?
No.
Yeah, you shaking your head, but you got to talk to the audience.
No. I mean, I don't.
It shouldn't.
Right. There you go. Thank you. I was going to say, for what we think are logical reasons, it shouldn't. But nothing surprises me anymore. So if it happens, I won't be shocked, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't. I mean, this man, even after the deflating footballs and leaving New England, I mean, this man still won a Super Bowl with a whole other franchise.
The very next year.
And still play, right, and still play, at a high level, even retiring and unretiring, and then retiring again. No, he shouldn't. It shouldn't penalize. We shouldn't have this pattern for Brady.
Let me say this about Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I hate them. I hated them as a fan of the Raiders. But you can do nothing but respect their accomplishments. And what bigger slap in the face for a 8-time coaching champion and a 6-time coaching quarterback champion? What is a bigger slap in the face to not allow them into the enshrinement where you are immortalized basically until the end of time? I think it's a poor precedent to set, as I said in the second segment, in terms of even just people doing business, because people are going to be like, yo, Bill Belichick is the winningest coach of all time as far as championships. He didn't get the exceeds on the performance review. Why do what incentive do I have to do it? But that's just me being a rogue employee, something I can never do again.
Can I say this real quick?
As well.
Go ahead, Donnie. Go ahead.
I just want to say this real quick. It is not the voters' responsibility to hold somebody responsible or to hand out guilt, or hand out a sentence to them for something that happened that they didn't get to set a punishment for back then. The statute of limitation is done. It's over with.
Dwayne, go ahead real quick.
I was saying that I think that's what that is, though. He still also might be a little butthurt behind the whole Tuck rule thing. Like, that's what the whole thing was based on anyway. Nobody ever did anything about it. So now I'm going to do something about it. Look, bro, what's done is done. Let it go. LIG, let it go.
Well, speaking from experience as a fan, I finally did let it go when Tom went to Tampa. And I said this on some other previous show. I don't know who I was with. But for me personally, as I began to get older and these cats that I once hated started to get older when they were beating my teams, I start to appreciate their longevity and actually start rooting for them. And that happened with Tom Brady. And I won't say it happened with Bill Belichick, but this is wrong. All right. Championship games from this past Sunday. The New England Patriots, the number 2 seed, walk into Denver. They lassoed the Broncos 10-7. This game, to me, guys, was one of the ugliest games that I've ever seen in my entire life. But nevertheless, the Patriots and Drake May, they come out on top. Jarrett Stidham didn't really have that bad of a game. But then again, this game was just ugly all the way around. You got 2 good defenses in the elements in which they were playing in. I mean, did we really expect anything different from the result that we got, Donnie?
I mean, I thought Denver could still win. And for the first 25 minutes of the football game, they controlled it. Until Sean Payton decided to go 4th and 1 when they were up 7 and had a chance to go 2 possessions. The play call was booty. I'm just gonna call it what it was. It sucked. It sucked. We're gonna sprint right with our backup quarterback and try to throw the ball to Cortland Sutton in the not even in the flat, but just on the sideline. It was just jagged from the start. And that play, you circle that play because that was the beginning of the end for the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton, I think he was too busy trying to tell us the same thing we do with Bo Nix, we're gonna do with Jarrett Stidham. Can't do it.
You know what happened in that whole thing? I'm gonna tell you what happened. It didn't happen. Dwayne, what about you, man? Did you think, or did you think, even with all of the stuff that was mixed into that bowl of gumbo called a football game, that we would have seen the result that we did?
I mean, was there always a possibility that Denver could have lost? Sure. The way that they lost, yeah. You know why? Something about those guys who know they're smart. They always tend to outsmart themselves. We've seen it multiple times with the younger Shanahan. Like, that is more known for his reputation than anything else. I don't care what he does in the regular season.
Bus driver did like this.
Bus
driver did like this. It drove. I'm sorry.
But you know I ain't wrong. You know I ain't wrong.
You're not.
When you get down to it, he gonna outsmart himself because he know he's smart. And Sean Payton did the same thing. I'm smart. You're not. Or at least I'm smarter than you and I know it. So watch me show you my magic. You can't draw the same picture as me when your crayons ain't as good as mine. I'm just saying, you can't.
He got the TG&Y brand crayons, and
you barely staying in the lines with this thing, and you over here trying to show me how good you can color.
And Mike Vrabel had the actual brand crayons.
Like, and I got real crayons.
Yeah, like he had the 64 pack that had the sharpener.
The pencil sharpener in the front. Yeah.
The sharpener in the back. Yep.
Yeah.
It had sea green, pea green.
I mean, just colors that ain't even been in.
So I got a plethora of colors, plethora of options. I know when to use them. I know how to use them. Like, yeah, that's the thing you can't do. As smart as you are, Sean Payton, I get it. Vrabel wasn't Belichick, but he played his game. And he played under Belichick. So he always know, expect the unexpected.
Yeah. One thing's for sure.
I always expect you smart jokers.
Yeah, one thing's for sure.
I want to show how smart y'all are.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, and that's nothing's for sure. All right. So the Rams and the Seahawks, part 3. Donnie, I know you probably don't care, but we still got to talk about it. The Rams go into Seattle and heavily, well, I shouldn't say heavily favored, but they're favored. They lose to the Seattle Seahawks 31-27. Matthew Stafford, 22 of 35, but 374 yards and 3 scores. Sam Darnold, 25 of 36 for 346 and 3 scores. Let me ask you this, Dwayne. Has Sam Darnold arrived?
To be Sam Darnold? Sure. I'm not saying he's, in the line of Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that, but is he somebody who I think should be counted on as a reliable quarterback? Yes. With a reliable quarterback with the right weapons around him and a decent coach that's gonna make smart, help him make smart decisions. Yes, he's sat back, he's watched enough, he's analyzed enough, he's had enough game experience, he's learned from his mistakes. All you really have to be in this NFL, really, to get the job done, you have to be a great game manager. And I think Sam Darnold fits that bill.
Donnie, real quick, Matthew Stafford's legacy, is it cemented for the Hall of Fame? Even though he dropped this game and had a chance to do something that only a few quarterbacks have?
Matthew Stafford can't play defensive back. That was the Rams' Achilles heel this playoff run. They get great pressure from the front four. They do some things on defense that rattle Sam Darnold in those 2 regular season games. But Matthew Stafford, in my eyes, is a Hall of Famer. He's got big, gaudy numbers. He had a great receiver in Calvin Johnson in Detroit. Yes, they didn't win a lot of playoff games, but he then capped it off with the championship and a couple of deep playoff runs with the Rams.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, he's the Hall of Fame.
I was gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off. I agree with that 100%. And here's the biggest thing about Matthew Stafford, and not just the fact that he's probably going to be the MVP this year, that he's already a Super Bowl champion. He put up great numbers in Detroit. Matt Stafford is not the reason why all of those Lions teams were so bad. If as a matter of fact, if it was not for him and Calvin Johnson and others, they probably wouldn't have won as many games as they did. And that's just my thought about it. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of the Shake Back Sports Show. We enjoyed you guys. For the dopest engineer in the game, Big Dave. There's Donnie. There's Dwayne. I'm Willie. Up next, the big homie, Donald Ware from Press Box to Press Row. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. And look, man, y'all take care of each other. Y'all love each other. Y'all hug each other. And we'll holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.
Free Don Lemon.
Oh, my gosh.